Hey everybody, welcome to the All Over Overland show. It is me tonight, only. Well, we're gonna have our guests on, but Lee, he's got a little kid that's sick, and I'm trying to push all the buttons and do the things. So Lee's not gonna make it tonight. I think it's a poor excuse of just not wanting to be on the show because that sounds like something that Lee would do. Let's blame my kid so that Michael doesn't get mad at me, and that's kind of what happens. But anyway, we didn't have a show last week because it was Valentine's Day, but we are back this week and we're excited, or at least I'm excited, because we have an awesome guest, a good friend of ours, Ryan with CB Adventure Supply. And then we've got Jacob, a buddy of his. We'll talk about how that's connected here in just a second, but we're going to bring them on. Ryan's got, he's like a grand reopening, I guess, and then also some big news that probably most of you have heard about, but if not, we'll cut into that. So let's just bring him on. Right.
What's
now.
up?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Ryan, are you there? Is your your screen? You're blank.
I'm blank?
Yeah, we can hear you though.
Can you see me, Jacob?
I can't.
No,
the audio sounds great.
Yeah, audio sounds great. I mean, really, this is ideal.
Whatever. I mean, there's a reason why you do radio, Michael.
Cool.
I know I've got a face for it, but you definitely right now have a face for it. So we're just gonna kind of weather through and hope that you're maybe push some buttons.
Well, what I need to do probably
Lee's not
maybe go.
So. Oh, there he is.
There you go.
There he is.
Am I moving?
You're there. You're
moving.
So
can you see me?
Take a second right now and go, and I'm talking to both of you guys. Go and copy. So go to well, here, let me do this. Lee's usually doing all this, and hopefully he's just taking care of it, and I don't have to worry about it. It looks like, sorry, I am trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Let's see.
Well, it's a pretty big. It's pretty obvious that you don't know what you're doing.
I don't do this part. This is a Lee part. I don't even know why it's not even.
So after you throw shade at Lee for essentially not being on the show because his kid's sick, you're now saying that you need Lee.
Oh, I totally need
all the
Lee.
Buttons.
Yeah, because he's the button pusher. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to go on here. I'm going to share this copy. Let's stop that because I don't want to hear it twice. All right, good. And then I'm going to go to the Facebook pages. See, this is where I need Lee because we've got to share it on the.
Share it to all the Facebook pages.
Yeah, we got to share it on the things, right? So let's share it there.
Am I still freezing, Jacob, or am I?
Good? Yeah, you're still frozen.
All right, let me go.
It's pretty awesome.
Let me go check and see who's all on the Wi-Fi real quick, and I'll
go do that, and we're gonna share this real quick. It's all Lee's fault. We have a sticker. So Jacob, we have a sticker made that says hashtag it's all Lee's fault.
You gotta have that. You gotta have that scapegoat. You know.
He's the perfect scapegoat. We can go ahead and share this on a couple other pages since we're waiting. Hopefully Lee's sharing it and it's getting shared twice. So while Ryan's out running around, Jacob, tell us a little bit about you. So
yeah, man.
I know that whenever I asked Ryan to come on, he's like, "Hey, look, I got this buddy that is kind of going to work with me on the new grand opening, and so I want to bring him on as well." So, what is it that you do?
Yeah, man. So I'm one of the owners and founders for Calvary Overland.
Right on.
Yeah, man, we're a community-based group. Started in located in the DFW area. We started back in May of 2021, and we hold free events for the community. So we try to pull everybody out. We work with the National Rigs and Coffee brand, so we're their DFW location out here. So we do that, and then we do some guiding stuff on the side, and just really try to foster the community, give them
Okay.
opportunities to have those connect points.
Now, is that a Facebook group?
No. So we do have a Facebook. We've got a
Okay.
Facebook page. We got all the social stuff, the Facebook, the Instagram, website, that kind of thing.
Doing the TikTok dances?
Oh no, we don't. That's the one that's where I draw the line there, brother. That's where I draw the line. We did. So we've got five folks on our lead team, and we're trying to make sure that we're reaching everybody that we can reach. And I think it was Shannon from our team said, "Hey man, we gotta do a TikTok." I said, "Bro, you're managing that. I'm off. Yeah, don't put me in that one." So we don't have a TikTok yet that I know of. So yeah.
It's it's one of those. It's so funny. I'll post because I have all of the things. I'll post a video like a short on YouTube or on Instagram and on TikTok, and on one of those, usually it'll blow up.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense.
He totally left. He totally left.
Like,
He'll have to come back.
Like,
he probably had to reboot. Yeah. But like we'll do the same bit. And my girlfriend, she's got she's a lawyer, so she's got a legal business. And she does the same thing. And she was like, yeah, this one went big on Instagram. And then this one went, the next one goes big on TikTok. And she's like, there's no rhyme or reason. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. So we're probably going to have to buckle at some point in time and jump on the TikTok. It just seems like that's going to be the case. But yeah, it's kind of weird how that whole algorithm thing works, though.
Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to what it is or what it does. So how long have you been doing that?
We started in May of 2021. That's kind of when we hosted our first meet, which is it's kind of a funny story, So it's me and two of our other co-founders, Jonathan and Brandon. We're a bunch of church guys that are going together. We saw there's a bunch of Overland rigs in the general vicinity, and Brandon had just got his Tundra outfitted with the rooftop tent and rack and things, and he's like, "Man, let's go out." So we shot out to your neck of woods. We went over to Broken Bow, and spent the weekend out there. And we're like, hey man, let's what do you think about trying to hold an event that pulls everybody together? We see these rigs passing on the freeway all the time, but there's not an event up here in DFW, or at least in Collin County where we were.
Gotcha.
And so we pulled that thing together, called it Rigs and Coffee McKinney. Rigs and Coffee McKinney. And I'll get to that in just a second, but we were expecting like maybe 7 people show up. And 3 or 4 days before the event, Jonathan, he's like, "Hey man, have you seen the event?" I'm like, "Nah, man. What's up?" He's like, "There's like 50 people going." I was like, "Well, we should probably figure out what we're gonna do then, man. Like,
yeah,
what is this?"
It becomes a thing.
It's a thing, yeah. So we ran over to Academy, grabbed just $50 of giveaways, and had a great time. After the event, we had an organization named Rigs and Coffee drop into the inbox. It's like, "Hey, you guys, we were tagged in some content. Hey, there he is.
You're good.
Yes.
Am I moving?
You are all in there.
Looks like you're
live
good.
in action."
Okay.
But yeah,
they
the
router.
We were in the middle of a conversation, Ryan. So just give us just 1 second.
I'll wrap this up quick. Long story short,
no, you go,
David reached out. He's like, "Hey, look, you guys look like y'all are pulling something together. Would love to work with y'all." Super gracious. But I remember after that email, I was like, "Hey guys, we got to figure out. We got to rename this. We had no clue this was Rigs and Coffee was a thing. It's an actual thing." But they've been awesome. So we've actually been working with them as their DFW Rigs and Coffee location since then. So.
I was shocked. Like, see, I had so many questions because I had done all over Overland coffee event a couple of years ago, I guess, at a place that decided they weren't going to be in the Overland business. And we had about 60 rigs, I think, show up. And I knew about Rigs and Coffee, but I was like, it probably costs money to do. Like, it probably a pain. It's probably all this. And so I was like, I'll just have those guys on the show and interview them and ask the questions that I have before I decide if I'm going to do a Rigs and Coffee. Because everybody's got these questions. I can't be the only one.
Right.
And sure enough, they were like, yeah, it didn't cost anything. I was like, well, then, hell yeah, let's do this.
Caught me by surprise, too. I was like, wait a minute. You said how much? I
You
think
said
they have cut
nothing?
out there. You said nothing?
Yeah.
What? Well, tell me how this works now. I'm skeptical all of a sudden. I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
Now I'm ready for like somebody to come knock on my door and say, "Hey,
You
you
know?
owe us money for that vacuum cleaner that you bought."
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
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 Nobody yet. No, but
What
David,
were those? The Super Bees? There was a
the,
vacuum door-to-door salesman. A buddy of mine worked for him, and they had a guy. If they had to collect money, they had a guy, like a mafia dude, that would come with them with a gun when they went to collect money.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
shady.
Maybe that's an Oklahoma thing.
That's
Oh,
probably
I
not
don't
working
know.
very well here.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, very cool. So
Yeah,
we'll get into how you guys are
yeah,
connected in a second, but thanks for like kind of the backstory on your end of it, Jacob. So it sounds pretty cool. Now, Ryan, we know that I mean, dude, we've been friends for a while, and we know that CB Adventure Supply has like gone from, like you said, like a roll up, just a roll up little, garage door with a couple of things
Yeah.
in it. We were talking before the show, and now you're on your like grand reopening of the new location. Is that right?
But it's
Like a
more we're
remodel?
calling it a launch party. That's what, because
Okay.
we've done
There we
grand
go.
opening way too many times, right? So
We
so
talked about
with
that last night, as a matter of fact. I was like, dude, are you moving again? Like, what's going on?
no, so we remodeled our 6-month-old new showroom is what we did. Uh, it's crazy, the growth and the expansion that we've had, and as we go out and look for new partners and brands to bring into the store, it's an ever evolving thing. And I was talking with Jacob about this last night. I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, we actually have 13,000 square feet. That's a lot.
That
Now
is.
that's all kind of segmented up, right? It's like 36 and some change that's showroom retail space. We have some offices for
Dude,
Libby
that
and
is a
myself.
monster space.
Yeah, and then we have I guess it's like 4,800 square feet of um install bay. So like right now we're packed to the doors. I mean, at any given moment we have at least 3 trucks in there getting worked on, if not more.
Oh,
Um
wow.
and we have enough room to house those vehicles indoors overnight. And then we have 5,000 square feet of just warehouse storage space. So when we partnered with Four Wheel Campers, you can see my
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, we were super excited, and then my head goes, "Well, crap! Where am I going to put these things?" Because we have to have, my motto is you got to have them there.
Yeah.
People got to touch them, feel them, see what they're about, right? And see what we see in the product. And so I use SketchUp, which is like a 3D modeling program to kind of design our original showroom. So I went, and only space I had was vertical. So
Uh-huh.
I got with our landlord. We've built in a mezzanine that's like, I think it's like 12 by 36 feet. It kind of spans over the top of our rooftop tents. It's got some lighting underneath it. It actually, I really like it. I think it's pretty awesome. It really has more of a showroom style vibe. It still feels independent like we are, but it really does feel, pretty nice in there. And it gave us the opportunity to move some of our products upstairs. Some of the smaller stuff, like our Midland radio and our Step 22 and Last US Bag and DMOS shovels and things like that, are upstairs now. But opened up the floor for 4, possibly 5 campers. That's
Oh,
TBD. Yeah. So those actually arrive hopefully this weekend or Monday. We're excited.
hey, very cool. Yeah, I kind Leah told me that you were kind of working on this deal, and
Hmm.
then we knew that you were gone to California, right? Is that where they're at?
Yep. Yep.
California, checking
We're
out the plant, learning everything about them,
hmm
and all that. Tell us a little bit about so just to dive in a little deeper. Tell us a little bit about that whole experience. Like, did you reach out to them and say, "Hey, look, I'm interested in expanding my line, and I'd really like to work with you guys." Like, how does that whole like from the outsider? How does all that work?
So actually, they reached out to us. I guess they talked to some of their industry partners, and said, hey, we're looking to close some of the holes in our dealer map, and we're looking for somebody in this area. And somebody, one of our vendors that we work with, referred us to them,
Mm-hmm.
or referred them to us. So they
However,
reached
yeah.
out to us, however that works, and said, hey, what do you guys think about this? And it wasn't a fast process. I mean, honestly, I want to say it was October of last year that they reached out. And then, there was kind of a vetting on both sides to make sure that it was the right fit. We're pretty picky about the brands we carry in our stores.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not something we just jump right into, right? And so
Yeah.
we talked through the whole process with them, found out what their product's all about and what makes it different than other truck campers. And once I got to really kind of see the mechanics of their product, and we have customers now who have some of theirs, so I reach out to them and talk to them about it. Get something, because that's another big piece for us, is that after purchase support that manufacturers provide to
Yeah.
the end user. That's a big piece. I want to make sure that the products we're selling, they stand behind them. And so it took a little while to kind of work through all that. And once we decided, it was right around the end of the year that we kind of came to an agreement, and we signed the dealer agreement. And then I set up my flight. They wanted me to come out for a full week, and then you actually kind of go through the entire process. So they manufacture there in Woodland, California, which is just outside of Sacramento, which is pretty cool to see that whole process. It's an assembly line, right? It starts as a raw aluminum product at the one end of the plant, and then at the other end of the plant, they're wheeling finished campers out into the parking lot to either be delivered to a customer or loaded onto a trailer and delivered to a dealer. And Four-Wheel Camps has been around for a long time. I want to say it's like 40 years.
Yeah.
So they're no
I know it's
spring
been
chicken. Yeah.
been a bit. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and it's not like the campers, they're not your grandpa's campers.
No.
Like grandpa would have that like that, back the truck into it and slide it in and take
Yeah.
off. They're totally different than what our mindset is from what a camper used to be.
Correct.
And so
Correct.
now you're carrying alley cab, and so there's
Mhm.
a canopy and a slide in with that, but they're
Yeah.
different. They're completely kind of different and
Yeah.
probably different users.
They are. They really are. So, with the ruggedness of the Alucab and the ability to build the product out as you evolve in the process. With
Mhm.
Alucab, you can start with a basic shell, and then it's pretty modular. All of their products that they sell can be added to the camper post purchase of camper. Um, you can, with four-wheel campers, it's more of a let's sit down and plan it out and have the factory build us a finished product. So you get to pick the color of the skin, you get to pick the fabric that goes on all of the cushions, you get to pick whether or not you want a front dinette or a side dinette. So there really is a customization of that camper for you specifically. Now they do have what they call a shell model, which allows you to kind of get an empty space and build it out yourself. So it's not like you're stuck with what they have as far as floor plans go. You can kind of start with a base model, and then if you've got the time and you want to make your own cabinets and your own seating, go right ahead. They have that option. So
Now
it's
is that with every series, or is that just is it the Project
mhm.
M? Is that what that one's
Nope,
called?
nope. So the Project M is a topper, is how they kind of refer to
Oh,
it. So
okay.
that's going to sit on your bed rails.
Gotcha.
The appeal that the Project M is going to have is that you've got the rear door, so you don't remove your tailgate like you do with the canopy camper. So your tailgate stays on. So if you have the need to go pick up some lumber at the Home Depot or Lowe's, you don't have to do anything special. You can fold your tailgate down, slide your bits, your stone, whatever in the back of your truck, close the tailgate or prop the 2x4s up so they're sticking out the back, and you still have the ability, and it does come off really easy.
Mhm.
So the Project M is kind of bolted down Usually, in most cases, it's about 6 bolts, and then you've got your camper jacks on the corner. So you throw your camper jacks on there, lift the camper up, you drive out from underneath it once you've disconnected your electrical, and you've got your truck back. So you could really weekend warrior it and not be a long, drawn out process.
Yeah, but then you don't get the satisfaction of being at the mall with that on there and people going, "Ooh, that's so cool."
I think we had a similar conversation about this
Yeah,
last night. Yeah,
yeah.
the Overland cool factor goes away when you take it off your truck. And that's
Yeah, because you have to have your max tracks. You have to have your max tracks on all the time.
You never know. Concrete
you
can
have your
get
roto
dangerous.
packs. You have to have your empty roto packs on all the time.
Yeah, well, and I told Jacob that's when you put a big CB Adventure Supply sticker in your back window, and then everybody knows you're cool, regardless of whether the camper's on there or not.
See, there you go. There you go.
Problem solved.
Yeah. Right on. Well, very cool. So to be honest, my next evolution will be some type of camper canopy slide in something for the truck.
Yeah.
And I was excited because they actually make one that fits the Frontier.
Do they?
Yeah, the Project M, I think fits I think they've got a 5-foot bed.
They have a 5-foot. I don't know if it's guaranteed fit.
I'm
for
pretty sure. I read that it's
okay. I'm still learning.
But that's one of my things. And of course, Alley Cab said that, hey, we've got one for the Frontier, but that's only the new one. That's not.
What do you mean only the new one?
The new.
Oh, only the new Frontier. Yeah.
The new Frontier, the new body style. So.
Yeah, I didn't.
Weird, dude. You're frozen again.
It's
freaking me out.
Oh my goodness. What about? Am I back?
No, you're still frozen, but it's okay.
What?
We'll
Dude,
move
it's
on.
got to be my internet, and I have. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay.
But what I was going to get to next, really was just the partnership that you guys have. So you've got this relaunch coming up, and in that relaunch, that's going to be March 11th, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Like, I don't know if he's there because he's frozen.
I'm here.
I can hear you, so that works. So tell us kind of what you guys, like the partnership that you guys are having on making March 11th happen. So what's going on there? What are we doing?
You want to talk, Jacob?
Yeah.
Since I can't
Yeah. No, I wasn't sure. I was looking. I was trying to read body language, but
frozen.
It was frozen. So Ryan and Libby, CB Adventure Supply, they're one of our sponsors, and so when we host an event each month, and so one of the things that we do is kind of a different product from our Rigs and Coffee is a rally, which generally draws a larger crowd than our Rigs and Coffees do. So we partnering with the rally, so we're doing the rally at their location for the March 11th kind of kickoff. So we bring in the community out there. We'll do our rally during our normal time frame, which is generally like from 9 to about 1 p.m. And then they're open on Saturdays, and so they're going to be hanging out through 4 p.m. So it's going to be an all day kind of get together thing. One of the things that we try and do is when folks are showing up to the events is provide some value. So all our events, man, they're free breakfast. So there's going to be free breakfast tacos for the folks that are showing up. We've got free coffee. We generally, for our rallies, will bring a keynote speaker in to teach on a certain topic, whether that be, intro to ham radio, Caleb from Lone Star Medics doing a hemorrhage control class, just things like that, just value for the community. There's obviously going to be the community showing off their rigs. That's always a really, really cool portion of that. We're gonna have giveaways, free giveaways. We're gonna do raffles. So it's just gonna be an all day kind of hangout. What I'm most excited about really is to get the community out there to see Ryan and Libby's new spot, because it is legit. It's a really cool shop. Really cool
I feel bad because I haven't been down there yet, and it's only 3
hours
away, so I really should go down there. I just haven't.
You should, yeah.
March? No, you've got an event March 11th.
I've got my second Rigs and Coffee.
I was going to say March 11th would be a great time to do it.
Yeah, got my second Rigs and Coffee going on, which I'm super excited about, and we're going to actually have donuts there. We had somebody reach out and say, "Hey, we're going to bring donuts." So pretty excited about that. Watch it like they don't show up or something, and I've told everybody we're going to have donuts. That would be embarrassing, but
Scramble.
Anyway, so this is going to be like the kickoff weekend for having the four-wheel campers there. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
We will
Every once
actually
in a while
have,
you move and it freaks me out.
so we actually will have some of the folks from the four-wheel camper headquarters in California are flying out for the
Oh,
event.
really? Awesome.
So they'll be there to answer any questions and kind of help people walk through the product, because we will have for sure 4 campers in our showroom. So we'll have a shell model, which is the entry level. We're going to have a Hawk built out, which is kind of your Ram 2500 size size camper, and then we'll have a Granby, which is the 8-foot full-size truck model. Then we're also going to have a Project M. So we recently did the MITS alloy conversion on our Ram 2500. So we took the bed off. So we made a frame that the bed's going to sit on, and the Project M will mount to that. So it's going to feel just like you're in the back of a truck.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
See, he moved again. Isn't that
He's
weird?
back.
Oh, now he's
He's
moving.
back. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Am I back?
You're back intermittently. So let's not get crazy.
Oh,
now
man.
I want to know, what are you going to bring to more? Are you going to bring one of these to
Dude,
more?
I have so much to bring to more. Oh my God. So I called Chris, like I was actually in California, and I was like, I had this like, epiphany moment. And I was like, there's no way Chris has booth space.
Uh-huh.
Let me just call him. So I called him. Like, I think I was in the airport on my way to California. I was like, hey, he's like, I don't think so, but things change a lot. And I was like, all right. So he calls or texts me like that next Tuesday, and he's like, hey, I have some booth space for you. I was like, really? I was like, it's inside, right? I don't want to be outside. I can't manage 2 booths in 2 different areas. He's like, no. It's on the same aisle in the East Hall where you're already at. So our current booth is 20 by 80, and he got us another 20 by 40 that's literally 1 space away on the same aisle that we're on. So I'm going to try and bring 2, if not 3 campers to more. So look, Michael, you'll have a place to sleep other than my canopy camper.
See, it's funny you say that, because that's exactly where I was going next. I made this whole big
there's a
deal
story
about
there.
Well, I made a big deal about sleeping in his alley cab during the More Expo, because it was all open. It was just there, and I was wandering around.
Roll right up, got comfortable.
Yeah. No, I climbed up there and acted like I'd been living there. No, I'm going to be a storyteller this year. I mean, I was last year, but I'm actually going to camp at the spot where my rig's going to be parked.
Oh, so you're going to be like right out front in that area that's kind of
we get tickets as storytellers. We get tickets to go down in the camping area. And I was like, dude, I really don't want to move my stuff. Like, I don't want to set it up and then have to move my rig down there. And I really don't want to just hang out in my Gazelle tent down there. I mean, I like it, but that's a lot of, I'm taking off that whole week. So I don't want to take basically 2 camping setups for the whole week of traveling around and exploring and stuff like that. Just to be able to camp there. And he was like, no, it's totally fine. So, Tyler with Independence Overland is going to be a storyteller, and he was actually asking me, he's like, dude, can we camp like in the storyteller? So I made a call, and I was like, hey, we need to be able to camp up there. And he was like, no, totally fine. That's cool. You can camp up there. I was like, okay.
Nice. That'll be awesome.
So, yeah. Just make sure I'm packing.
Yeah, he won't let us camp inside the booth.
Well, the fairgrounds won't let us camp inside.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Which, I mean, there'd be so many people that would camp inside that it would be no issue.
It would be total debauchery is what it would be.
Define no issue.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's true. Like, there would be no, I don't know. Maybe people would still have stuff. Maybe so. Yeah. Maybe that would happen. I know that, we didn't end up doing the video, but one year we were going to do the Santa video. Like, we recorded it, we made it, like we were having it put together. And then there was a kind of a a falling out on the Overland radio side of it. And so we didn't have the video put out there to the public, but I was Santa Claus and I'm like stealing shit from, all the booths and putting it in a bag. I mean, we put it back, but it was just for, the Overland Santa kind of thing. But and then we faked like we were sleeping in everybody's, Lee got into an Opus trailer that was there. And I think Joey climbed up in his own because his truck was there. And then I don't know, remember where it wasn't yours that I pretended that I was sleeping in. I don't remember which one I was in.
Well, that would have been the year we had the turtleback booth when we had the turtleback in our booth when we were in the West Hall. Because we were over there. We were across from Rhino Rack where Joey was at. Yeah.
That was that year for sure. For sure. That was a great event. That's always fun. So now you guys, I'm not surprised that Four Wheel Camper reached out to you, because there's a couple of shops that when people are asking me, like, who do I need to work with to get things done? There's two shops that come in mind because of customer service, and it's you and it's Chad with Overland Attic. Both of you have the best customer service out there as far as vendors, as far as working with people and making sure they get the right stuff, and people call and you're available and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stores that don't do that.
It's I mean, I hate to call it old-fashioned customer service, but it's kind of become that, right?
Right.
In the online world, and buying from companies that don't necessarily exist sometimes, being able to pick up the phone and call and ask questions about a product, or come to a store like ours or Chad's and take a storage box and go out to your vehicle and, does this fit where I need it to fit? You can sit there with a tape measure all day long trying to play the game of measure and find out, but to take the product, whether it's a storage box or a fridge or whatever, and actually take it out to your vehicle and let's see how this fits. It's a game changer. Our customers really do appreciate that part of having inventory there, where once they figure out exactly what they want, they can walk out the store with it. They're not waiting for it to be shipped from the manufacturer or drop shipped from another place.
That's a big deal, especially when you're going out of town next week.
Yep.
Like, hey, I really need this. I'm leaving. Like, I totally screwed up. It's Wednesday and I'm leaving on Friday. What do you got?
I'm guilty of that. Yeah, I'm
We've all been there.
Guilty of that. It's like, I've been meaning to get this bit for whatever reason for the last 3 months, and I'm leaving on Friday. It's Tuesday night, and I'm like, where the hell am I going to get this? I got to, that's, you're scrambling.
Well, that's always when you find something broken, is when you're packing up to go.
Yeah.
You forget that you broke it.
Yeah.
While you were camping. And so you don't think about it, and it's like, oh, well, I'll get to that. And then, you're packing stuff up, or you left it at camp and you didn't realize you left it at camp, and now you're missing it. So, yeah, here we go. Yeah. See? Exceptional.
Correcting customer errors. Yeah. We'll take it. We'll fix them all, whether it's our mistake or the customers. It's all good.
Now, I will say, I was shocked to see that you were closed for a couple days. What was like? Did you guys have some cold weather come through? Like,
yeah, it was ice, man.
I heard it was nasty.
It wasn't horrible. The problem is that when like we were on that like freezing line, so it was like raining, or it was, it would start in the clouds as like frozen precipitation, and then it fell through warm air, which would melt it, and it turned into rain, and then it would refreeze as it hits the ground. So, I mean, it wasn't as bad as like, 2011. I think we had this massive cobblestone ice thing go on here, but it was 1.5 inches, 2 inches of ice on the roads. And I don't care how good you are, driving on ice is really tough, especially when you're driving a big, heavy vehicle, because 4-wheel drive is not 4-wheel stop. And that's what you need on ice.
Well, I tell everybody that's like that, all these trucks that fly by you, when it's icy, I'm like, you guys are idiots. But I will defend and say, hey, look, it gets me out of the ditch easier than your 2-wheel drive.
That is true. That is
So
true.
I may still end up in the ditch on an icy day, but I'm going to be able to probably get my way out of it. So
Yep.
at that point,
Yep.
I'm hoping I'm going to the ditch, so then I can just drive in the grass,
Yeah.
or in the ditch. And yeah, like in the Dallas Fort Worth area, it's all bridges.
It is, and
I've never seen so many bridges in my life.
and we don't have the infrastructure to handle frozen precipitation, right? You go up to like Amarillo, and they got plows and salt and stuff to put on the roads. I mean, they've got some
Yeah, it's
chemicals
unheard of
to throw down.
in Dallas Fort
Yeah,
Worth. Yeah. Well, and then
that's
another thing that I had arguments with somebody that was from way up north, and they were like, "You guys in Oklahoma don't know how to drive whenever it's snowy." And I was like, "No. Snowy's fine. It's the ice that sucks." The other thing that's different between here and like North and South Dakota is the roads up north are flat for plows.
yep,
Ours are curved for rain, like they're crowned, like the middle's a
yep.
little bit higher for rain. So that's why we always end up in the ditch. Also, our roads just aren't made for it. It's not something that usually happens. So, rain happens a lot, especially here. I mean, you guys get a little bit of rain, don't you? Like a
We
little.
get quite a bit of rain. Yeah.
We're supposed to have tornadoes tonight here.
What?
Yeah, tornado season's already starting. Tornadoes tonight.
I thought that wasn't supposed to start till the spring.
Usually, but like in the Northwest, they're having record cold, and even in California, they're having record cold, and in like Florida, they're going to have record heat, and so we're right in the middle of that. So it's going to cause all kinds of disturbances.
Well, dude, it was like in upper 80s today. Like I closed the doors and turned the AC on in the shop because I started sweating.
We were close to 70 or in the 70s today.
Yeah,
it was
we're
crazy
in the
for
mid
Oklahoma.
80s. Yeah.
So, and you're also somebody that actually goes and adventures. I didn't realize that you lived in Alaska for a bit.
I did. I was actually born there.
Real? I didn't know that at all.
Yeah. No, I was born in Anchorage, and man, we moved away when I was probably 6 or 7, but we would go back. We had family up there for a while. My grandparents had some property on the Kenai River, and we'd go down there and go fishing. And I grew up king salmon fishing. So funny little story. When we moved here to Texas, we had been overseas and all over, military brat, and we wound up here in Texas. When I was in high school, I think I was probably a sophomore or junior, and these guys that I went to school with were like, "Hey, we're going fishing. You want to go?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to go fishing." So I met them at the lake, right? We get in a boat and we go out in the middle of the lake, and everybody grabs their poles, and we're just kind of sitting there kind of floating. I'm like, "What is this?"
What are you doing?
They're like, "We're fishing."
What is this?
I'm like, "I don't know what planet you're from, but where I come from, this is I'd never been bass fishing, right? I would always been salmon fishing, where you're on a river, you're moving, or you're wading out into the water, and it just wasn't anything. Bass fishing in a boat on the bank of a lake in Texas was not what I was expecting. So
probably, definitely a culture shock.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we've been researching lately because Sarah applied for a position in, how do you say it again? Kenai,
yeah.
Kenai.
Or Soldotna. I can't remember which one you'd mentioned. It's either Kenai.
In the town,
right there
in the actual town of Kenai,
Okay.
is where the job is there. But she's also applying for a bunch of places in Colorado, and now Oregon's on the list. So I'm kind of
Oregon's
hoping
pretty.
those a little bit more, because Alaska's really far. And you were warning me about, dude, when it's dark, it's dark.
Yeah. The winters can be tough up there. Yeah. I mean, in Anchorage, it's not. And so the cold here is different than the cold up there to some degree.
Someone was trying to tell us that's living in Alaska right now. And we were like,
yeah. I mean, I could go outside in jeans with some thermals, a long sleeve shirt, and a good winter coat, and be okay in the 20s, right? Here in Texas, when it gets to like 32 degrees, for whatever reason, the wind starts blowing 45 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And so it's like it just cuts right through you. 20 degrees with no wind is actually not horrible. And don't get me wrong, it's no, Hawaiian beach, but it's not as bad as you'd think. So
Well, and that's like, I get
there
it.
is a different cold, and then you take the humidity we have here in Texas, the moisture in the air,
Yeah.
it changes the dynamics of the temperature as well.
Well, and that's the same with Oklahoma, because if it's 103 degrees in Oklahoma, you don't go outside. Like,
Mm-mm.
you'll die.
No,
It's so hot.
no,
But if you're in Vegas and it's 110, you can walk the strip all day long.
Is that dry heat?
It's that dry heat. I mean, you still need to hydrate, but yeah, it's just different. It's a different feel. So
yeah.
I guess I understand, but I don't know.
Dude, Oregon. Have you ever been to Oregon, Michael?
I have not.
There's some parts of Oregon that are freaking phenomenal. We lived in Grants Pass, Southern Oregon, there for a little while, and you get in there with the redwoods and stuff like that, and Crater Lake and all that. It's beautiful up there.
Right on. I'm pushing for it. So,
Yeah.
Colorado would be pretty cool. She's like Space Force. She'd be working. Do you know what they call the people that work at Space Force? Guardians.
Like of the galaxy?
Yeah, I know, right?
Guardians. That's what they're called. I was like, you pulling my leg. There's no way they're, and she showed me on the website that, the people that work there are called Guardians. So I think pretty cool. It'd be a big difference living from Oklahoma to any of those places. So I think it'd be quite a bit of fun, and the videos and traveling and camping and doing all that kind of stuff would be a blast. So with that in mind, Jacob, I'm going to ask you first, what kind of rig did you have? We didn't even talk about this yet.
Yeah, man, I've got a 2011 Ford F-150.
You got a what? 2011 what?
Ford F-150 FX4.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We're letting him on here and he's got a Ford. What's going on with us?
Look, come on. Thank you. I'm just being gracious host here.
we've got to give a little shade. So you got a big truck then.
I do.
Like full size.
I've got two girls in car seats, so it's got to have enough room to haul them around as well. So, yep, it's got a little bed rack and a rooftop tent on it. Nothing too crazy.
Really, you don't need a whole lot. I mean, really. I mean, as long as you've got shelter, food, and a way to get around, I mean, you're usually pretty good. Ryan, you still have the Taco, right?
Yeah, we still have the Tacoma. I actually used it this past weekend. I went camping with some friends and got to chillax for a little bit. Hadn't done that in a while.
Wait a minute. You have a store. You're not allowed to go out and do stuff.
I was actually kicked out. Yeah, Libby told me that I had to take a mandatory mental health weekend and go unplug. And I came back with a gimp knee. So riding e-bikes and drinking whiskey does not mix.
Yeah, that could be a problem. That could be a one wheel. I want to get a one wheel, but I know
that's
that
a horrible idea.
My love of oil fire whiskey, that probably would be a bad deal.
Yeah, that equation is not shaping up too solid.
You know, the person that's been drinking a little bit is the one that doesn't get hurt, right?
No, I can attest that is false information, Michael.
Very good. So do you have Ryan, do you have any trips planned for this year? Or are they just mainly part of going to expos and stuff?
For the most part, expos is the only thing we have planned. I got invited to go to Baja for a couple weeks before Expo West. I don't know if I'll get to make that happen. We'll kind of have to see how things play out, but definitely want to work towards getting outside more. Last year was we had to move the store, and there was just some large projects we had on our plate that didn't allow us to get out as easily. So my goal is to hopefully, as we progress through this year, get outside more and see, do what we enjoy, what kind of helped fuel our fire to start this business.
Yeah. That's the thing with getting successful is that you get busy,
Yeah.
and there's the good part of it is you're successful and people, your reputation is there and people believe in what you're doing and they trust you and all that. And then it's like, well, I don't get to camp as much as I used to. So I can kind of see that talking with Chad and a few other people about, yeah, man, we're just busy. It's hard to get out.
And it's tough for us here in Texas because we don't have anything like right
you
in our
got to
backyard,
travel
right?
forever to get somewhere.
Yeah. So even if we wanted to take a Saturday and just go someplace, I mean, the closest we have is Ouachita in Oklahoma, Ouachita National Forest, and that's 5 hours away almost. So
I've heard that whole area, the Broken Bow area, is becoming like Lake Tahoe to California for you guys, for like the Dallas Fort Worth. Like it's becoming, and I've heard that there's going to be some casinos put in, which is going to make it even worse.
That doesn't surprise me because that area has been growing like crazy.
The rent on cabins have gotten insane.
Yeah.
So I actually have 30 acres with a small, like off-grid cabin up there. That's probably about 45 minutes north of that Beaver's Bend, Broken Bow area. And we enjoy it. We just, again, we don't have the time to get up there. So I think we're actually probably going to look at getting rid of it and selling it. But that whole area is pretty cool, but that's the closest place we have other than maybe like some state parks or hip camp kind of stuff.
Yeah. For like true dispersed type camping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah's got some land outside of Mena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the other end of the K Trail.
Yeah.
I'm on the Clayton side.
Yeah. Gotcha. Which, I mean, we've been there once and would like to go again, but I mean, for here, it's 4 hours. From Oklahoma City, it's 4 hours to get there. So, kind of same situation.
How far is it to the little island that y'all go retreat to from where you're at?
Well, for Lee, it's 15 minutes.
That's ridiculous.
He's up outside of Tulsa. And for me, it's, I guess, 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on traffic.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. I mean, even the guys with Mountain State were like, this is legit. Like, this is crazy cool.
Where do you guys end up going?
There's an island in Oklahoma. Did you not know about this, Jacob?
Look, I'm finna learn today. I'm gonna learn today.
What lake is that? What is it called? Oh my gosh, I'm going blank. It begins with
it's
an O.
In like northeast Oklahoma.
It's outside of where he lives. I just went totally blank, but we call it Overland Radio Island, and it's just a little island on one of the lakes. Oh my gosh, I'm going complete. Lake Ulagog is what it is.
Okay.
And it's just like north, maybe a little east of Tulsa.
Yeah,
I know it's
northeast.
Yeah, I see it.
It's north and kind of east, but
yeah. So there's a little causeway that you kind of drive across. Sometimes it's underwater, sometimes it's above water. And then like the north side of it's like a wildlife management area, I think. And then the south side of it, you can camp anywhere, and it's pretty dispersed. It's been kind of a hangout for drinking and partying and stuff like that. So you'll go out there sometimes and it's pretty trashed.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get lucky and it's not so bad. They had Rigs and Coffee in Tulsa this last weekend, and they do a camp out afterwards, after the Rigs and Coffee, and they went there this week.
On the island?
Yeah, they went to the island.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really pretty. I mean, it can get a little windy. Is the only thing, because you got that water coming off of you got the wind coming off the water. But overall, just a good time. Oh gosh, I haven't been keeping up with.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, there's a comment in there from Daniel who says that he was just on our website and he's looking at getting a 270 awning and wanted to know the preference between 23-0 and the Rhino Rack Batwing. So, my personal opinion, so it's really going to boil down to the materials that they're built from, right? So the Rhino Rack Batwing uses an aluminum pole with a polycarbonate knuckle. So where the awning pivots around, it's more or less a type of plastic. They don't fare well with much more than a really light breeze. They will snap pretty easy. They do come with spares in the box when you get a new awning.
Really?
The Rhino Rack does. Yeah, that's how tender they can be. So the 23-0 is my go-to with the 270. Not only because it's aluminum arms with an cast aluminum knuckle, but it actually has two arms that fold forward as well as the three arms that fold backwards. So you get a ton of coverage down the side of a vehicle versus just a traditional 270 that's going to pivot on the rear pin, right? So you've got two arms swinging forward, three arms going backwards. So I can't remember the square footage, but it's a pretty decent amount. And then they've got their light suppression technology, so that's pretty cool as well.
Gotcha. They've got that on the awning and the walls, like if you got the walls with it.
Yep.
Right
The awning, the walls, and they have some new deluxe walls that recently came out that have large screen panels in the middle of the wall. So their walls used to be just canvas walls. You could unzip it and roll the whole wall up, but it made it a little bit of a challenge if it started raining or the wind kicked up to get those panels back down to the ground. Well, now they have a kind of like a zipper window in it that you can unzip and just roll the little window so the wall itself stays in place. So I'm really impressed with his continuous improvement that he does to make the products better.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's a crazy dude. Man, 23-0.
Oh, Justin? Yeah,
Just crazy.
He's a firecracker.
He's a maniac.
So
love
Michael,
him to death. Talks weird.
I got a question for you. So
last
night we were all talking about first vehicles. What was your first vehicle that you ever had?
My first vehicle I ever had, 1963 Chevy short wide pickup truck with a 305 that actually came out of a racing car. And because of the big rear end in the back, I could smoke anybody in an eighth of a mile.
So you were go fast.
I was old and loud and grungy and fast. That truck was badass. Yeah. How about you? What was your first vehicle?
Mine was a 1989 Dodge Colt, little freaking hatchback looking thing.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't anything special, but it got me around. Now probably my favorite car that I had in my younger years was I had a 77 Bonneville with the big V8 in it. It was like a 405, and it was thing had crushed velvet interior in it. And I was telling Jacob that it actually had a working 8-track player in it. So I went to the thrift store and I bought 2 8-tracks. I can't remember what the other one was, but the one that sticks out was the Oak Ridge Boys with Elvira on it.
The other one was the Allman Brothers.
Probably. That thing was awesome. I love that car.
Yeah, old is fun. How about you, Jacob? What was your first vehicle?
Yeah, look, I already got a little bit of judgment from the call last night, but man, my first one was a forest green 96 Honda Accord manual with a permanent pop trunk. I was telling
permanent
Ryan,
pop trunk?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a story. All right, so college. I went to school in Kansas. I went to school in Salina, Kansas. That's where I played football. Okay. And I got rear-ended there. And look, we weren't the money wasn't going to replace that thing. So we were trying to figure out how to keep the trunk from continuing to raise up. And so we me and my next door neighbor, we're out here fabbing my 96 Honda Accord, but there was a permanent wrinkle in it. So it always looked like it was ready to pop up, but that thing was latched. It wasn't going nowhere.
That's
so
funny.
Yep, that's what we worked with, man.
Okay, so I've got a vehicle question for you both that I've asked before to guests that we've had on. If you were on the Fast and the Furious, what vehicle would you have?
Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
I'd go old school and probably do a Galant VR4 all-wheel drive twin turbo. Yeah,
Oh,
buddy.
geez, like I think I'd have to look that up, and I'm a
You
car
don't
guy.
understand? Like, how do you even follow that? Can I next question, please?
Did you guys
Nope.
ever play Gran Turismo on PlayStation?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That was
okay.
like the sleeper car on Gran Turismo,
Okay.
right? It was
Okay.
and I actually knew a guy who owned one, and it looked like a complete soccer mom car, right? I mean, he was a single guy, but he had a baby seat in the back just so people would like think, oh yeah, this guy doesn't have much, and then he would just let it rip on the highway. And being a twin turbo all wheel drive, that thing would just like a bullet. It
I
was
guess
insane.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
where
right,
I'd go
Jacob,
with
you have
it.
to follow that up.
Man,
Just go with your heart, man. Go with your heart.
look, give me the 69 Camaro. That's a go-to. I would absolutely love rocking one of those things.
Okay. All right. The sexiest car ever built. The 240Z. That's what I'd go with.
Okay.
My mom had one when I was little. So that's kind of
I had a 300Z for
Oh,
a
yeah?
short stint. Yeah,
Yep.
until some dude pulled out in front of me.
Yeah. But I tell you,
Yeah.
really, the baddest ass car, one of my favorite performance cars is the RX-7. What was early 90s maybe? Is that right? When they had a 0 to 60 in like 3.7 seconds, which was unheard of at the time. Like that was stupid fast. But yeah, the RX-7s were pretty cool. I was into those. I had a buddy
that had one of the older square body Toyota Supras.
Oh yeah,
first or second gens. Dude, that thing was wicked. It had like it was either a V6 or an inline six in it. Dude, that thing was it was fun to drive car because it was so light and it was rear wheel drive. I mean, it just zipped all over the place. It was like driving a go-kart on the road.
Yeah, I knew a girl in high school that had one, and she'd never let me drive it, but I got to ride in it. And I was always blown away. Yeah, I was always blown away because it had a button for like its suspension setup for sport. Like I was like, "What is this? Can we push sport? Let's push sport now!
Press the button. Press the button.
Let's go fast." She's like, "My dad will get mad at me." I was like,
He'll never know.
Yeah,
I promise.
Yeah. Another car that I think would be fun to have right now, just because of sentimental values, would be like an IROC. You know, like I think they're just cool looking, and I would want it. It'd have to be the IROC, not just the regular Camaro. It'd have to be the IROC.
IROC. Okay.
They're pretty cool. Anyway, okay, so let's keep on with this because this is kind of fun. What is your ultimate overland rig and setup? Like you win the lottery, this is what you're going to build.
I haven't won the lottery, but I think I'm headed there with our Ram truck.
You think so?
Yeah, I really like the full size diesel, all the torque.
Yeah, I get that.
It's comfortable to drive for long distances. It gives you a lot of flexibility with what we're doing with the MITS alloy tray on the back, where we can put a canopy on there, or we can do a four-wheel camper flatbed model on the back. And that's what my long-term goal has been. Is originally I was wanting to do a Tundra with a flatbed and four-wheel camper on that. But really, once you start to dig into like payload and
Yeah.
what the vehicles or GVWR and all that the fun numbers, it's really best for a 3/4 ton or 1 ton truck.
Not much beats that Ram.
No, no.
Now
It's so much fun to drive.
would you prospect it out, like make it like that kind of the AEV, all that stuff?
So I would, and man, I had the bumper for that truck on order with the 40 cutouts for
Yeah.
running 40-inch tires on it, and I talked myself out of it and went with 37s. So I've been told by my good buddy that I will right my wrongs and I will eventually get 40s on there. He said first set of tires you go through, you're going to be ready to go to 40s by the end of that. He's probably not wrong.
They say if you want to make an older vehicle feel like it's new again, just get new tires, get new wheels, and
All you
tires.
gotta do is wash it, man. I wash my car and it.
We're
drags like a
Overlanders.
new
We don't
car.
wash anything.
Whatever, bro.
Mm-mm.
Not just because you got to keep. Yeah, I guess it depends. Because with the dirt, it shows that you've been. If
Yeah.
it's got mud slung up the doors, I'll leave it for at least 3 weeks before I wash it.
Yeah. Mine's been
Because
dirty.
then people know I go off road. I mean,
You out, yeah.
how else are they gonna know?
I've got different types of dirt from different areas still on my truck. I got red dirt, I got brown dirt, I got like black dirt, and we're not. That was gross, but that stuff was nasty up at Call Lake. That stuff was it was sticky, it was gross, it was just.
It's crazy how different parts of the country have different types of dirt, but different types of mud, and how the mud like. I mean, there's places here in Texas that's not really, it's just dirt, but it's like that super fine silt. Yeah. So you'll find that, I mean, it's like months later. You thought you got it all out of the interior. You turn the AC on and it poofs in your face. It just keeps coming back. It's like the cat came back the very next day.
Here we go. Someone said a Yanko Camaro.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so Jacob, it's your turn.
Yeah, man.
All the money of the world.
I'm gonna stick with the full size, man. That's the style of overlanding I do. I'm looking more to get out. I like the comfort. My wife loves the size and being able to have the space. And so when we go out, man, we're not doing a ton of quote unquote off-roading or we're not doing anything like that. And so I'd probably go with another full size, man. I do like the
which full size? What truck?
So the Rams have been growing on me, and I man, when they increased the backseat size, because that was always my biggest fallback. The reason I went with the Ford initially was that, man, I could dang near stand up in my backseat. There's just so much room, and all of the other like I really like the look of the Rams. Mm-hmm. But their back seats were always so much smaller.
Yeah.
But now, yeah. Oh man, that the TRX is it speaks to me every time I drive past one.
They're cool looking too.
They are so cool looking.
Yeah,
dude, and they are fast, wicked fast.
They're dumb fast.
Yeah. This is a bad exercise here.
So what would you do in the back end? Would you still do like rooftop tent with a rack system, or would you go with a canopy? Like what would you?
Yeah, so just right now, so this season that I'm in right now, my oldest daughter's 4, my youngest is 1.5. They take the rooftop tent like it's a tree house. They like the ladder, they like climbing up. So I would without a doubt stick with the rooftop tent. I think I'll probably do maybe the smart cap or the Alu cab comparison. Be able to close in that bed space a little bit more, keep things moderately dry, but still roll with the rooftop tent.
Yeah. Well, in a rooftop tent, like when you've got a family of 4, you can get a bigger,
footprint. Yeah.
Than you can with any kind of pop-up that's out there on the market right now. Now you may be able to get one that can pop up and you can sleep and then have a bed where the
Down in the
table goes.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be an option.
4-wheel
See,
camper.
there you go. Solves problems.
I'm looking,
I
this is a
mean,
good March 11th is gonna be awesome because I'm gonna be able to see this thing in person. Like, I can't wait to
Yeah.
see that.
it's
Like,
gonna
be able
it's gonna
to
blow your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, they sound pretty cool. So for me, and this is gonna shock. I mean, I've talked about this a lot, but I dog Jeeps every once in a while. I've had Jeeps and I like them, but I dog them just because they are so
It's
good.
fun.
They're so good off road. But I would want to do a JL. I wouldn't do a Gladiator. I'd do a
Okay.
Why not?
JL. I'd want the diesel, but I'd want all the stupid stuff fixed. Like the DEFs, like I got a buddy
Yeah.
has problem with the DEF on it and all that kind of stuff. I'd want all that fixed. So that would all be, I mean, I got all the money, so just fix it. But I would go with the American Safari XL extension
Ooh,
with
yeah.
the
Really?
topper that pops up, so that you can
Yeah.
stand up in there, you can sleep in there, you can do all the things. And you've still got skinnier than a full size, but you've got all that extra room, comparatively speaking, than a regular JL would have. And you can stand up inside. That's the whole thing for me. I want to be able to stand up inside the back of the rig. So
Yeah.
that's where, like, right now for me, I've got the quick pitch rooftop tent. And obviously, I can't stand up in there. So at some point, I'm going with whatever's out there that fits the Nissan. I'm pretty sure that I saw somewhere that I think I know somebody that has a 4-wheel camper on their Nissan, or at least used to.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna pull while we're talking about that. I'm gonna pull up. They've got like a fitment.
Mhm. Schedule or something, fitment
Yeah,
thing.
it's like a fit for truck compatibility. And you think it's the Project M?
I think they have one for that, but I know that there's another. I know that even before the Project M, I think somebody had one on there. And if I could look
Yeah.
it up,
It's a Frontier, right?
yeah, Frontier 5-foot bed.
Yeah, it says a Swift, which is a slide in, will fit on the 5 foot, and the Fleet, which is for the six. They make a Frontier with a 6 foot bed.
It's the one that's not a 4-door. It's the extra little cab. But yeah, they've got
It's like access cab.
yeah, it's that little window.
Uh,
You get a bigger bed on that one. But I know
yeah,
that like
so
AT Overland has a couple that fit that, because the Ford Ranger and the new Ford Ranger and the older Frontier, the bed is pretty dang near the same size. I
the
mean,
same
it may be
size.
off a
Okay.
hair, in some spots, but it's not off very far.
So on the Project M, they only have the Titan listed
You're such a
as an
jerk. Why did
option.
you have to break my heart, hurt my feelings?
And-
Well, at
but
least there's
but
something.
they have a slide in that's available.
See
So
that'll work. Okay.
so yeah.
I mean,
So not all hope is not lost, Michael.
yeah. I mean, I can't get an alley cab because they don't make them for it.
I wonder if we could just make it fit. Has Lee gotten rid of his yet?
No,
Why don't we just take it off his truck and make it fit yours?
I keep telling him, why don't you just give it to me and let me modify it
Yeah.
to make
Bring
it.
them down to the store. We'll yank it off, figure out
Yeah.
we'll engineer
do
it. We'll
something.
make it work.
Yeah, we'll make a piece we could fab a piece in the back and then just sell them.
Yeah. There you go.
Here's the fitment for the Frontier, because
Nissan Frontier.
and they made those trucks forever. There's so many of those. That's one of the reasons why. One of the reasons why I went with the Nissan was that their durability is right there, pretty much with Toyota worldwide. Like their durability is right there. Their reliability is right there. And for the price, I got a rear locker, and I paid like a fraction of what I would have paid for the same year, same mileage in a Tacoma.
What year's your Frontier?
16.
Nice.
Now, I will say that I think that the Tacoma looks nicer. Like, it has better lines.
So is that the same thing as a Nissan Patrol? No, that's an
No,
SUV, right?
Yeah, that's an SUV. The Navara or something like that is the foreign version of the Frontier, but they're not the same. They're
Yeah.
off just a little bit. The bed's a little different. Everything's a little bit different.
Well, so is the Hilux and the Tacoma.
Yeah,
They look very similar, but there's some subtle dimensional
which is
differences
dumb.
between
Like,
them.
why would you do that? Why?
Who knows?
It's probably because of the specs in the United States that you need like safety and
Probably.
stupid stuff like that.
Who needs
All
it?
of that overrated
Stupid stuff.
all that overrated stuff. Well, dude, here's the deal. It's just kind of like putting warning labels on stuff. No, that weeds out the dumb people. Don't put the labels on stuff. Now you're just letting the dumb people survive.
That's why I just tear those labels off. That way, if the dumb people, they'll figure it out.
This house is not dumb people proof. If you come in here, you're at your own risk.
Dumb people beware. We'll put that on the front door.
Right on, right on. So, hey guys, we've been doing this for a little over an hour. You guys have been awesome. Now tell us like what time everything's starting and on March 11th, and give the address of where everybody needs to go.
Yeah. So it's going to be March 11th. It's going to be at CB Adventure Supply, which is 13043 Harmon Road. I'll give you the suite number, but you won't need it. 707, Fort Worth, Texas. You can find us on all the socials. Also on Cavalry's website, which is what, Jacob?
It's CavalryOverland.com. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. So they've got an events page there that has all the details about the event, what time it starts. It's for the big event, it's 9 to 1, but we're open Saturdays now until 4 o'clock. So we'll be there all day. We'll have the 4-wheel campers folks there on site to answer questions. We'll have the product there. We'll have raffles and all kinds of fun stuff. I think there's even tacos in the morning, isn't there, Jacob?
Oh yeah. Free breakfast tacos, free giveaways, raffles, all the fun stuff.
Michael, do you have breakfast tacos? You have donuts, right?
We have donuts. We're gonna have donuts and hot dogs.
Yeah. Ooh, I need to talk to my buddy who does coffee and see if he'll come.
So
yeah, March 11th, come see us. We're super excited. It's always a good time.
Well, right on. Well, very good. I usually take the time now to thank Lee for pushing all the buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thank me for pushing all the buttons and doing all the things and getting this launched and inviting you guys. And you guys are here, and it's all about me. So, and then everybody out there, thank you so much for listening, for pushing the buttons, for commenting, for sharing this with your friends. I really do appreciate it. Make sure whatever you do, make sure that you go all over. See you guys.